was in high school. So I took a job as a host at a restaurant called Balboa Cafe in the city. I wanted a part-time job. I was in high school, and I also wanted to make contacts. And I knew it was a spot I'd been to before. It was owned by kind of prolific people, and it was kind of a hangout for a lot of wealthy people. So I thought, well, what better way? I could be a host, which is pretty much a social job, and in the process meet all these regular clientele who are successful in pretty much every industry. Treat everybody as if they're a multi-million-dollar client. There's one situation once where I thought it was a referral for somebody purchasing a big property, and it ended up being a rental. So I thought, well, maybe they wanted to rent a house up to like $10,000 a month. It ended up being their budget was under $3,000 a month, which in San Francisco is not a lot of money. It's barely a one bedroom. And I looked for them and spent a lot of time, maybe we're talking over a month, and I spent a lot of my time on this, made almost no money from it, but they referred me to, they talked about me at their work, and I ended up working with one of the top executives at their company who ended up buying a house. The other important thing is having a team. So I do have someone that I work with 75% of the time, and you want to make sure that every deal is done perfectly, and every client, no matter how large they are, that they're receiving full attention at all times. In a place like San Francisco, I'm very networked. In a place like San Francisco, or the Bay Area in general, there's so much money. A lot of people want second homes, and they're very private about it oftentimes. So without a doubt, I will always get a local partner in those places. You have to. So they didn't require that, by the way, when they asked me to do it. I suggested it because that's, again, it goes back to, it's not just about the commission, it's about what's going to be best for the client. And in those cases, it's always going to be good, not just for showing purposes. I can't get down to Calabasas in 2 hours, right? Or Carmel right away. But also to have someone with the local expertise is invaluable. But when you combine those two, I think it's definitely fantastic for that. I'm not like a social media expert. I actually got on Twitter fairly recently, maybe like 6 months ago. Instagram, wasn't that into. I've gotten into all of those things now, more so. But I think social media, I do know people who sell places off of social media. They have gotten clients from social media and sold places from there. So I think Instagram is great because it's visual. That's my personal favorite one. You have to be out there meeting people. It's really meeting people, showing them property, and really not sitting behind a desk. I think if you can maybe split an assistant with someone and have them do a lot of the paperwork type stuff, you're gonna find, I think, that business will grow much faster because you really have to be out in the field. Another important thing I want to say is making sure that clients, part of that good service is making sure that clients never feel, this is a big, complicated process for the average person, right? So making sure that they don't never feel overwhelmed with any of it. The client shouldn't feel like they have to do their own research to know what's going on with the paperwork or the disclosures or the home buying process. So making sure that everything's explained to them very clearly along the way from the beginning, so that they feel like it's clear and they understand it, and they're not in the dark. Don't, if you get your first deal, don't worry about the commission. It's hard to say, and I know it sounds funny, but choose an agent who is really successful and knows what they're doing and who you like, and tell them, I'll give you 50%, and I want to learn the whole process. Watch how they do open houses, watch how they interact with clients, watch how they explain the contracts, watch how they negotiate, and then do that as many deals as it takes until you really know what you're doing. Because you don't want to do a deal not knowing everything perfectly, because that's going to come through. And in the end, when I work with a client, I want them for lifelong clients, and I want to get their referrals, and I want to get to sell their place and get them an upgraded place. And none of that is going to happen. In fact, it could backfire if you don't do a really good job with them. Hi Score members, this is Justin Fichelson with $1 Million Listing San Francisco. Thanks so much for hosting me today, and I look forward to coming to future events.